much bigger fan of Amityville II The Possession. I just find it to be a scarier film and just better all around. I don't know, I have a soft spot for Amityville II.
I don't know that I brought anything original, just what the DeFeo murders were and how they unfolded. A lurking spirit or demon, if you like. That's what I brought.
We're sequel of the year. There were so many. Amityville II The Possession may be it, giving us just what we didn't want, further adventures of that haunted house. And it's for that extra bit of sickening material, and there's lots of it in this picture. That's the reason that Amityville II The Possession makes my list as one of the worst films of the year.
You only wanted to see it once. Well, I think I learned my lesson in the Geek Show, and I don't have to see movies like Amityville II. They are made by people with absolutely no shame.
They are only interested in getting some kind of rise out of the audience and, just throwing something special at them. So we get the shotgun stuff on the little kids. At that point, I really wanted to leave. I wanted to ask the people who were in the theater, why didn't more of them get up and split? I can't regret it.
Can we pretend that we're just at a local bar right now and we're just two people talking horror films that are often underlooked and definitely undervalued? Can I explain it to you as casually as I can and give you a really strong recommendation that might just make your entire weekend? I'll be quick. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Beyond the Gray Media. This is Josh here, checking in on you out there in YouTube land. YouTube, happy middle of the weekend to you. I had to work all day. That's not why we're here. That is not why we're here, but is the reason that I went back to the well this weekend. I was like, I got to get back to feeling right. I never have to work weekends. I'm a 9-to-5er. Monday through Friday, I've kind of set my life up that way. You guys don't care. But I had to go back and do something for, why am I using my hands? I had to do something for me that makes me feel good. And that is going back to the golden era of Scream Factory with this Amityville horror trilogy, the box set, the chunky box. Not that chunky, kind of flimsy, but still, it is what it is. And we're talking about the film in question, the brilliantly demonic, malevolently evil Amityville II, The Possession. And I'm going to try to make this review super quick. I'm going to get right down to the nuts and bolts. I'm not going to fuck around and waste your guys' time tonight because I know you guys got stuff to do. Maybe this will come out Sunday. We'll see. This is one of the most iconic haunted house films of all time in the Amityville horror. Let's check. So keeping this review simple and bare bones, this is a horror film that elevates this entire series by stripping it down to the studs, removing the frame, removing the doors, removing all that stuff that didn't work or also worked but at a little bit slower plotting pace of the original. In the Amityville 2, there is no lead up time to get comfy. There is no cozy, no relax a little bit, let's smoke a joint, let's sit back, let's just kind of kick it with this family. None of that happens. This is not 1982 light 80s yacht rock. Not even a little bit. Not even any comedic relief. This is not something that you put on to feel good. This is a mean-spirited film, and it hits you, boom, with those intentions right off the bat. This film is penned by one, Tommy Lee Wallace, an amazing filmmaker, right? An amazing screenwriter, and it's excellent. It doesn't just stop here, though. This house, the intentions, everything about this film, they're not safe. They don't want you here. The intentions are just, they're to the point, right? Everything about this film plays as some sort of prequel with the Ronnie DeFeo murders. If you're not familiar, get familiar. There's documentaries, there's Hulu. Everybody and their mom has put this thing out, and call it what you want, spoof, right? Ed and Lorraine Warren. I particularly, when I bought that book, I got a review down there. I shouldn't have ever covered the Amityville horror. I'm getting off on a tangent. I want to keep this simple. I think the Amityville horror is one of the most interesting cases in American history, especially for New England, especially for the classic haunted house ghost story. I just feel like it doesn't get any better. This film raises the ante, it raises the bar, it goes all in with those motherfucking poker chips, and The Possession gives us a hard-nosed atheist in Burt Young, most lovable from the Rocky franchise, right? Uncle Paulie, a man who suffers no fools in this film and owns this role. He isn't afraid to use the back of his hand to do so. And I'm not trying to downplay what happens in this film. It is violent, and he just chews up camera time. Chews it up, dude. The scolding, the running the family into the ground before we even hit the 10-minute mark. I'm serious. This film has so much determination, so much just bad intention that you can just, it's dripping. There's a machismo to Burt Young's character in this film, and I love him for it. He just kills this role, dude. Unlike the slow, methodical 1979 original, Amityville 2, it makes its intentions known by bringing back, this vengeful spirit, the specter, evil everything, slowly poisoning everyone and everything in the house. This film makes excellent use of its score and clever camera angles to haunt and torment the eldest sibling, Sonny, as it stalks him from the basement, to the stairwells, to the mirrors, to the rifles, to the fucking everything. The camera in itself is acting as the spirit or at least that's how I interpret it, right? It's coming up from that secret room and it just has cruel intentions and it's following him around, and it's unnerving. It's this extra presence. There's like a sound to it, right? There's this scope that's just, oh man, it's just dripping. It's something else. And as it goes through the different staircases and hallways, it gets right up into your breadbasket, right up into where you feel and to where you process this film. And it's something else, man. And it's something special. Blood spews from the faucets, from the firearms that discharge negligently. Furnaces rage, fire, pyro, flies swarm. The Amityville 2 isn't fucking around, and it's just neat. And we're barely even halfway through the movie at this point, right? I'm not going to give you a plot. You know what happens. It's the Amityville Horror. We got a new family that's coming in before we're ever introduced to the DeFeos and then the Lutzes in the Amityville. So this is the prequel, right? Part possession, part psychological horror, and full-on slasher. Amityville 2 tests the patience, tests the resolve of even the most seasoned horror fan. I dare you to put this thing on when nobody's home, a little out of your element, a little out of your mind, with the windows, closed, your Dolby Atmos cranked to 30, right? Make sure you got it on Cine mode. Get right up in your most comfortable chair, pour yourself a cold beer, get yourself into a state of relaxation, and see if this film doesn't just try to mess with you a little bit. This film turns the table on the viewer in a way that I'm not used to feeling. And it really, this is a haunted house film, and I don't know why I'm trying to squeeze your neck, like I'm trying to tell you something, like I'm trying to get into your bones a little bit, like I'm trying to really sit you down at this bar, like, hey dude, you don't understand, no, listen, nah. What about it? What makes you want to watch it? It's the vibe, it's the scope, it's the tone, it's the way that it's filmed, it's the score, it's everything, man. It's the practical, it's the CGI. It's practically just relationships that pretty much freak me out. They freak me out. They're not supposed to be this way. There are some serious disturbances in this house. Things go down, and it's not subtle. If you've seen the film, then you know. I won't spoil it for you. Can you imagine the unrated, the uncut that didn't make the theater? The director's cut of what happens with these siblings? You can see it coming a mile away. From the first 5 minutes of this film, you're like, something bad's going on here. You're blowing the whistle, you challenge flag, right? You're on the sideline. Something is not right. And some of the more adult themed content in this film between Sonny and Patricia, thank God it cuts away to that priest. Thank God for the priest, right? Because that was awkward. A dark, malevolent undercurrent follows this film, and it just breeds and it just lives underneath in the bones of this house. It follows this film and it continues to compound serious interest in the form of scares. This film broods and festers and makes excellent use of the source material. The house itself, it feels like this large and bombastic thing. It has this huge grip at the same time, where it's like this small, claustrophobic little family drama, and tension just abounds, man. I'm telling you, it's uncomfortable and it has no reason to be this damn effective. Everybody and everyone in the Amityville II The Possession is a hot mess, and they're just pouring sweat. They're unnerved, they're unsettled. You can just see it, whether it's people in the bathtub or the mom and dad, or just at the dinner table, things breaking, people chasing each other it's a lot. It's a lot, and it's not because it's hot in the house from the windows being nailed shut. There's just this time under tension, and you can just tell that something is going to go desperately wrong. And we finally get to the infestation and the transformation. You can kind of tell that something's coming, right? Something is coming. You just know that locked and loaded, Sonny is at the top of that stairs. His face is a twisted mess. He's hiding from his family. He doesn't want to be a part of this anymore. The way these things are shot, though, from the children's perspective, as the older brother goes from room to room, racking that thing, right? The lightning cracks, the blood stains the floors. Man, Amityville 2 is worth the price of admission. All day. This is a pre-Night of the Demon style, just it's Angela style effects, dream sequences that are more chilling than nearly any modern horror film released today. And I'll stand on that. I'll really stand on that, man. This thing's not 82, right? This thing is 42 years old. It's unbelievable. It has no damn business being this good. I was reading this discussion concerning the pacing, the third act and the studio's pressure to kind of turn this into an Exorcist style film with the way that the ending kind of goes. And it seems like a lot of people on Reddit agree that this would have played much more tightly, much more effectively by just stripping off that last third when the priest wakes up from that dream. Maybe just the extent, maybe a few minutes more, but really just if they just tighten this thing up and it just ended right there where Sonny's going from room to room. It's about an hour and 15 minutes in. It would just take your breath away. You'd be like, that's it. It's just, if it just didn't have any of the ending, you would miss out on a lot of great practical effects, a lot of great gore, right? When that priest wakes up, I still think it would struggle. With unfavorable reviews based on the content that unfolds. Some of that stuff, it's still not okay, and it still wouldn't pass. It's incredible. It's on par with anything you're going to see. So whatever you're up to this weekend, whatever you're going to get into, however you found me, do yourself a favor and let Amityville 2 get into you.